Last night I dreamed my mom, my younger brother, and we were eating at a restaurant in the afternoon. And we placed our drink order. I ordered a Dr. Pepper with ice. And we ordered an appetizer, which I believe was like a buttered Italian garlic bread with sides of marinara and ranch. And our waiter walked away, and he brought back a small plate of toast with a small plastic container of honey that was sealed with what looked like a little piece of saran wrap. And he walked away again to go and get our appetizer. And I picked up the little container of honey and peeled back, what looked like the saran wrap, and smelled it and looked at it. It was nice dark honey, like a clove honey. And I said to my younger brother, we should just ask for like 3 or 4 more of these, and I'll just stuff them all in the kangaroo pouch of my hoodie, because we are out of honey at the house. This way we won't have to stop at a store on the way home to buy some. And he thought that was a good idea. So when the waiter came back with our garlic bread and our drinks, I said to him, would you mind bringing like 4 more of these little plastic containers of honey to our table? We really like honey. And the waiter looked down at me and said, "Oh, certainly, sir. Here at this restaurant we have an almost unlimited supply of honey. That honey there that you hold in your hand is fresh squeezed from a grizzly bear." I looked at him and I said, "Wait a minute. Grizzly bears don't produce honey, they consume honey." And the waiter looked down at me and said, "Well, with all due respect, sir, I beg to differ on that matter. We've got our own grizzly bears in the back. Would you like to speak to the head chef?" And I said, "Yes, I would. I would. Yeah, more than anything right now, I'd like to talk to your head chef." He says, "Okay, well, fine. I'll get him for you." And he walks away, and I'm shaking my head in disbelief. My mom and my brother don't seem to think this is weird at all. They're not saying anything about this. And finally, a guy in a lab coat comes to our table and says that he's the head chef. And I say to him, I understand you extract honey from grizzly bears? And the head chef, he wasn't wearing a name tag, so I don't know what his name was. He says, "Well, of course, sir. I mean, from their udders, yes." And I say, "But you do this on site?" And he says, yes, we do, right in the back here. I said, "Well, would you mind if I just have a look at your operation? I have to see this to believe it." He says, "Okay, sure." And he takes me to this room, and I mean, it looks like a dairy farm, except in all of these, little rooms that we have like enormous brown Kodiak Island grizzly bears, and these they look like milking devices hooked up to udders on their undersides. And I looked over at the head chef / scientist in a lab coat, and I said, "What is the deal here? You're the chef, but my curiosity about this matter doesn't have anything to do with cooking. This isn't biologically possible." And he says to me, "Well, sir, these are genetically modified grizzly bears." This guy had an answer for everything, and this was driving me nuts. And then my alarm clock went off. I can't believe I was able to remember such an odd and complex dream, because I only got about 2 hours of sleep last night. And then when I came home from work, I just was deliriously tired, so I laid down, and I ended up going to sleep for like 6 hours, and I couldn't remember any dream from that stretch. So